Marinetti. Please share your story on how you came to serve in the Korean War.
I was drafted by the Army in 1953. I was still in high school and went through basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And after finishing basic training, I was shipped over to Japan and Korea. And that's how the story starts out. I spent over 18 months in Korea. And it was very rough over there at that time because the war was just ending and the living condition was bad. Most of the building establishment was bombed out. And so we lived in a tent for about 16 months. We got a Quonset hut about 2 months before I left Korea. And however, I got frozen in Korea. My feet got frozen, feet, legs, and ankles got frozen during the time I was in Korea. And so I suffered along with that during my whole 18 months in Korea. I don't feel that I got the right treatment for my injuries. And so I still have the symptoms from that freezing now. And so there you go. It's been about between 55 and 60 years since I got an injury, receded frozen injuries. And so I'm still living and getting by.
How was your reception when you came back from Korea? For example, the Vietnam veterans were not welcomed back from the war.
Well, at that time, the whole South was segregated in other places in the United States as well. So having lived in a segregated environment before going into the service, lots of expectation that I ran into. I had already lived that before I went into the service. So I didn't pay no welcoming back into the country. It didn't dawn on me, but I didn't expect it. So I guess it didn't have no impression on me how I felt. Because we came back, individually and not in a group. And that's where I came back from by ship through the Panama Canal into Seattle, Washington, then by train across the top states down, all the way down into Arkansas. And I was released from the military in Arkansas. And from there I went and caught a bus, went on into Mississippi, where I spent about the next 2 months, and then I came to California.
Despite the hardships you faced while serving in the Army, you went on to serve over 36 years in the military. If you had to do it all over again, would you?
Well, it was a learning experience for me. It was I got a chance to engage my mind and body and individual experience into the thing that I was exposed to, like going to school, military schools, and meeting with various different people from across the United States. And I learned it was a learning experience for me. However, I was in a foreign country, but I met a lot of foreigners and also a lot of Americans from all across the United States. And from that, it was an educational experience because coming from the South at that time, I came from a segregated environment. Schools, everything was segregated. The everywhere you went was segregated, and so it opened up going into the military. It opened a new world to me, and also being in a foreign land, it was new to me. So I really enjoyed it. It just after I came back from Korea, and found that we were back in the same old scenario as it was before I went into the service. Everything was still segregated. I put in it for my GED exam to get my GED, and the only place that they was giving the exam was at the Southern University of Mississippi College in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And being a black person, I couldn't go on the campus of the university. Therefore, they had to get the proctor from the university to come to the courthouse in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to administer the GED exam to me. And we sat there all day, and he gave me the test, and I passed it. I got my GED. And when I got to California, I enrolled into Pasadena City College as a freshman.
Could you tell us about your experience on crossing the Mason-Dixon line?
I took 16 weeks of infantry basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And they gave me my travel documentation, and I had a 7-day leave time at my home in Hattiesburg, and I boarded a plane, not the plane, but the train for Fort Dix, New Jersey. And they had the military, they given me Pullman and Porter services. However, I didn't get the service until about midnight that night on the train, because the porter had told me that I had the service, but he couldn't give them to me until we crossed the Mason-Dixon line. So sometime in the night we crossed the Mason-Dixon line, and he gave me the services, like my bed was made up, and all the other things that went with it. And the next day we ate in the Pullman car. They served breakfast, etc. So although the government paid for service, but about a day's service that I didn't get due to certification regulations.